What's going on, world? Brand new episode of Royal Key there on your screen. I'm your host, George Kill with Sports Dissected, and I'm here with Coach McGuire in Lubbock at Texas Tech University. Coach, how you doing?
It's great to see you, man. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you spent some time coaching Cedar Hill
Yes,
High
sir.
School, so you know everything is bigger in Texas.
Yeah.
But after seeing this, I think everything is bigger in Lubbock.
Well, this walkthrough room is absolutely incredible, and there's a lot of things in this building that are great for our players and are going to advance to our football program. But this was kind of my baby. Once we kind of redesigned some stuff, everybody put different spins on it. The walkthrough room was my spot.
When I first met you off camera, you said this is a football resort.
Yes.
What did you mean by that?
Well, you know, the other day, I was walking over to the Womble Football Center, and Coach Wood, our defense coordinator, was walking back over to the south end zone. And he was the one that actually brought it up. He's like, you know, we work in a football resort. This is a place to where they can come and really get everything that they need to be a better football player, recovery, everything. And then it's got such great energy in the building. There's so many things that they can do to make them better. And so it's kind of like, if you love football resort, that's what it is here at Texas Tech.
Definitely. Take me back to before this was built. I know you guys had a pretty good game against Oklahoma. You called that when you knew what was going to happen. Take me back to that moment.
I believed in our team. I believed in what we were doing and what we were building. And the question was asked, you know, they knew that we were going to knock down the south end zone. And the question was asked, when is this going to happen? And I literally said, what's going to happen right after we beat Oklahoma? I said, we're going to beat Oklahoma and we're going to pull the double teed up. We're going to knock down the south end zone. We beat them in overtime. And that next week we were knocking down the south end zone.
Back to this area right here. Student athletes are learning in different ways, right? You have your team room there. I'm sure you sit down in there. They get chewed out in there sometimes, but being able to actively act out some of the things that you see on camera, how important is that?
I couldn't have said it any better, because that's what we talk about. I think everybody learns in so many different ways. We teach them how to take notes. You know, we've got our video cut up so they'll sit in a classroom setting, but everybody also learns through movement. And so this area is huge for us. You can split it in 3 different screens. You can do our opponent video. We could probably get 120 reps in 20 minutes. And so this is so valuable. And then the other way we're gonna use it was our special teams with our kickers. We play Utah week 4. I'm gonna get live looks at Utah from the kicker's perspective, from that end zone perspective. They've never kicked at Utah, but they can walk through their kicks, you know, at Utah on both ends of the stadium, so you're even taking it to that level. Dusty Womble is a big part of this. His name's on the building, but he's got a vision. He's on our board of regent, and he and Kirby Hocutt traveled to the Star in Dallas. They went to Alabama. They went to different places, and this setup is kind of picked from different spots. Like our staff room is from the Cowboys and kind of added to that staff room. And so everything's from different places to get the best of the best, not only in the country, but the best of the best to make our players the best version of themselves.
When you have South End Zone Complex, you have Womble, it's all attached to the Sports Performance Center. How often do you use the largest contiguous football facility in the country to potential recruits, their parents? That's a big thing to say.
Time after time after time, whenever we were walking them through the building, they were like, Coach, man, we've been everywhere. This is the best facility in the country. You know, I started out before it was fully built, I'd say we have one of the best. We can compete with anybody. And then once it was finished, I was like, no, this is the best in the country.
Definitely. Now, outside of that team room, I see you guys promote your alum, right?
Yes.
They're very important. Not to mention, one of the most important ones is Patrick Mahomes,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Having those guys be a part of the program here, does that benefit you at all?
You know, when you're playing high school football, your dream is to play college football, and then all of a sudden you get a scholarship and it becomes reality, you know, and now the real work begins. And then when you get here, your dream is to play in the NFL, you know, and I want them to be able to see the names and the people that have been here before them. Now they're playing in the NFL or played in the NFL. So I think that's a great visual to get them to work harder. And then the guys like Patrick Mahomes, I don't know any other alumni at the level that he's playing at, the best quarterback in the world, and he wears the double T almost every single day, if not every day. Bringing that together with Adidas, Patrick Mahomes, Texas Tech, and then his logo, the Gladiator logo, we'll be able to take Texas Tech and that group to a whole nother level. During his bye week where other NFL guys are going to Cancun or wherever, 2 years ago he's on the sideline in Lawrence, Kansas, watching us beat Kansas, and that's just who he is. He loves Texas Tech.
One thing I noticed, the locker rooms here.
Yes.
The game day locker room at most facilities is not invested in. It's just a regular locker room. That game day locker room in South End Zone is just as nice as this one over here, right?
I think it's important to them to know that they're at a first-class facility. That they're playing for a university that invests in them. And then with this, when you walk into the Womble, I want them to be excited. I want them to feel the energy, but then I also want them to work on their recovery and taking care of their bodies. And so when we're looking in different ways of what kind of lockers, you see different people have lockers and they're like, hey, it's a recliner or you can lay it all the way out. They're really not comfortable, but they look really cool. Every single locker has a sub-zero recliner, and that allows you to actually get your feet above your heart, and you can even go farther back. And so it's recovery. They can put their Normatec boots on. You come in here anytime during the day, and usually after workout, there's usually someone here taking a nap or something like that.
All right, Lance, incredible weight room, man. This is unlike any other weight room I've seen. The lights, the flooring. Talk to me about the functionality in here. How do you guys utilize it?
Sure, no, yeah, and I appreciate it. Obviously it's a great space. We're very honored and blessed to have it. As far as the functionality goes, our thought process on the design was to make it as functional for what we like to do as possible. Twice the size of our old weight room, so plenty of room to do everything that we want to do. It's all about flow. We're coming in from the locker room side. We got plenty of room to do warm-ups up there and get everything going, and then flow right into the racks where typically we're going to be next. And then you end up towards the end of the day, over by the dumbbells and then over into our post chain area. So it's all flow, all functionality, all efficiency. At the racks themselves, the racks are designed, so that you can get as much accomplished there as possible. If you could do something with a barbell and a bench or, barbell freestanding, it's gonna be able to get done here. And then on this side of the weight room, you've got a lat pull down station, a low row, and a adjustable cable station attached to the back side. So we can do 80+%, if not closer to 90% of our work at our racks.
From a recruiting aspect, again, I love the light up racks with powerlifting. How is it working with those guys in creating this establishment here?
Oh, my favorite question so far, and I should shout out Colin and the guys at RFS about the floor. They did such a great job, and the inlays are awesome. But as far as the racks go, another shout out to Sean McPherson and all the people at Powerlifts. They did a fantastic job. When Sean came to me with the idea, at first it was kind of like, really? And he's like, trust me on this one. It's gonna be really cool. And from a recruiting standpoint, it'd be a cool deal,
One of my favorite things about this weight room, it's in close proximity with a lot of things. You have your indoor right there, you have your outdoor practice facility, you have nutrition in certain areas. Is that a benefit for you?
Huge benefit, going back to making things as functional as possible for not just the staff, but the players. It is so easy for us on a day where we might run first, start in the indoor, and we can transition to our lift within a matter of seconds if need be. And the same thing if we're gonna pop outside or come right back in or whatever. So easy, very functional. As soon as they're done, they're getting their recovery stuff, and then within a minute or two of grabbing their recovery shake, they can be in the pool, recovering. So every aspect and every avenue, extremely functional and all about efficiency.
We've had a really great relationship with Texas Tech, starting with the basketball facility, and then it's just kind of grown and evolved. So we've really understood the brand. Where are we putting those wow moments? How do we plan that facility and tell that story?
They have a very notable brand, and they kind of wanted to bring that out really loud in this project.
We were specifically looking at the game day experience from the fans' perspective. The fans there are connected to the team as the team walks out of the locker room through the tunnel. There's dynamic lighting playing on, there's color, there's branding, messaging.
Working in their player facility, I want to make them feel as comfortable as possible. Give them a place to hang out and just to exist.
All right, Michael, impressive training facility, man. Talk to me about technology. and how it's impacted the training side of athletics, and what is happening here training wise?
I mean, long gone are the days that you use just bands and dumbbells and stuff to kind of get guys back. You know, technology is a forefront of one, our new facility, and two, sports medicine in general. Anything from air resisted equipment to force decks to Nordic hamstring testing, the technology that we have in our pool room, our recovery. I mean, technology is all over the place. So this is our hydrotherapy area that is attached to our athletic training room. We have another hydrotherapy area that's attached to the guys' locker room as well. So here we have our hot tub, our cold tub right behind us, and then in the distance we have our underwater treadmill, all HydroWorks equipment. That underwater treadmill allows us to get athletes back in a rehabilitative state, in a functional motor pattern, quicker, in a safer environment. They may not be ready for, you know, land stuff yet, but we can start that early on underwater.
All right, Michael, what is the purpose of the chamber here?
So the hyperbaric chamber is a chamber that heats up to 4 atmospheric pressures, all while the athlete's inside with the oxygen concentrator and a non-rebreather mask, kind of consuming 80 to 100% pure oxygen. Pure oxygen helps with recovery, better sleep, better mood. It heals injuries faster, and guys just feel more, you know, recovered when they come out of it. Our sensory deprivation dry floats. Sensory deprivation is really good for improving mood, mental health. And not only that, if you're actually taking a nap, being in a sensory deprived state helps put you in REM sleep a little bit quicker. You get more recovery, better, truer, fuller rest. A 30-minute session probably equates to about 2 hours of true restful sleep. So one of the big things about recovery that we also kind of preach to is better sleep quality. And Samantha, one of our soccer athletes, she's using our red light bed. This is red light technology, utilizing both visual red light and infrared light. Again, it's more so for recovery, healing. Red light increases, I'm gonna nerd out, mitochondrial density, mitochondrial proliferation. All that says is we create more energy, the powerhouse of the cell works better, we heal faster, we recover better. And then also in here, we have our cryo chamber that'll allow us to kind of get these guys in a room that's negative 180 degrees, you know, a little 3-minute session, and you get the same kind of benefits that you would get naturally, you know, in a cold tub.
All right, Hannah, maybe a year ago, we spent some time at Cash. Super functional, super like educational over there. I think this is an extension. I'm seeing graphics just pile up on the screen there. How important is it to have education in addition to fueling the student athletes?
Yeah, education is the #1 most important thing in my opinion for my job, because if we don't have education to go along with what we provide, the student athletes don't really understand what we're doing and why. So in my opinion, I think it's top tier and really must be something that you do as a dietitian.
How often do you see student athletes, maybe even some staff walking by and just being like, oh, I didn't even know that?
Oh yeah, you'll see people all day just kind of stopping by being like, oh, this is a fun fact. Like, I didn't know that. And it's like, oh yeah, good to know. Or it starts conversation. So the more info we can give them, the more that they get interested in learning from us.
What's a day-to-day in your life look like, right? From morning to evening when they leave. I don't know if some of them even leave. There's so many spots to stay and spend a night here, but what does a day-to-day look like for you?
Yeah, so day-to-day as a dietitian, our main roles are gonna be doing meal checks, making sure that people are eating, kind of plate coaching at those meals. And then before and after every lift, we try to be present to make sure that we're answering nutrition questions, make sure that the players are fueling properly for that, and recovering properly afterwards. So really big focus on those 2 areas, but then throughout the day, kind of filling our space is gonna be individual meetings during off season. We're really focused on body comp changes right now. So we meet one-on-one with all of our players to kind of come up with that individualized plan.
Awesome, snacks. I'm seeing a lot of snacks, we're in front of them. Which one do you guys have to keep stocked the most?
We love fruit snacks as a team, which is crazy because obviously it's like what you have as a kid, but they love fruit snacks. And then we also love our fresh fruit. Like, we cannot keep fresh fruit stocked.
Cayman, one thing I've been saying a lot with everyone I've talked to is functionality. This equipment room, I've seen others. I'll just leave it at that. I've seen others. They're like not even half the size of this.
We're super grateful. You know, we had the chance to design everything in this equipment room, and our main goal is to make it to where everything in the equipment room flowed from one room to the next. So functionality was paramount in everything that we designed in this room. Take you over here first. So this is one of 3 space saver systems that we have in our equipment area. In here, we're able to store excess shoulder pads, footwear, accessories, socks. Going into this room, this is our helmet work room. We're able to keep all of our game helmets in this space saver system.
How many unique uniform combinations do you guys have?
Well, core uniforms, we have a black jersey, a red jersey, a white jersey. Then we have 3 matching pants for all those. We've got a black helmet, a white helmet for our core uniform. And then this past year, we debuted our Mahomes graphite uniform, which was a big hit. So really between the 3 core colors, we can match all those up any way we want.
Got you. Also in this helmet workroom, what else do you guys do in here besides store some of the helmets?
So this is where we'll decal the helmets during game week, get them all nice, shined up, cleaned up, change face masks, look at hardware, replace anything we need to at that. We also keep all of our coach to player helmets in here. Let's make sure those are all ready for the game each week. So this is our main laundry area. We got 6 industrial machines and then a household unit for anything small we need to do. Got 6 industrial gas dryers over here. So this was a major upgrade for us. This is one of the main things that I really wanted in this new space was this garment carousel. So we're able to wash the jerseys in that laundry room and then come in here, hang them up, raise them up to the ceiling where there's good airflow, keep them dry, and then we'll store them all here too. During the season, we'll have coaches' game clothes up here as well. But this is our main jersey storage area.
Just like a dry cleaning, you guys need the plastic overlay things to be able to just walk out with hangers?
Nah, we don't need all that, but we have the ability to if we need to.
And you've been here since a student, so you've seen the brand change from Under Armour to Adidas. Now you have the Gladiator logo involved. How do you guys continue to incorporate all of that? And I know that has to be very instrumental for equipment, right?
Yes, for sure. So our partnership with Adidas is amazing and really tying into Patrick Mahomes and what he's doing. And we debuted our galvanized gray uniform, which had the Gladiator logo on it, which was just massive just to be able to pair our 2 brands up together. Adidas has been a great partner so far. All the guys love everything that we've been able to issue them thus far, and the uniforms have been a big hit.